2:13 a.m. when your laptop screen flickers. Not a glitch. Not a power surge. A message. No sender. No metadata. Just a black screen with a single line of white text. We've been watching you. Do not disconnect. Your fingers freeze over the keyboard. For a second, you consider slamming the lid shut, pulling the plug, disappearing. But you don't. You never do. Curiosity has always been your weakness. Another line appears. You bypassed 3 international firewalls in under 4 minutes. That wasn't an accident. Your heartbeat slows instead of racing. Whoever this is, they're not bluffing. They're precise. Then comes the final line. We'd like to make you an offer. The internet cuts out. Not drops, cuts. Total silence. Even your local files hang for a second, like something reached into your system and paused reality itself. Then your phone buzzes. Unknown number. You don't answer. It rings again. You answer. No greeting. Just a voice. Calm. Measured. Distant. You have 2 choices. It says. Continue pretending you're invisible. Or find out who's been letting you stay that way. The line goes dead. 3 hours later, there's a black SUV outside your apartment. No sirens. No noise. Just presence. You already packed. The building has no name. No sign. No reception desk. Just a fingerprint scanner, a camera that doesn't blink, and a door that opens only after you stand there long enough to feel judged. Inside, everything is quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that feels engineered. They don't ask for your name. They already know it. A man in a gray suit walks you down a corridor that seems longer than it should be. No windows. No clocks. Everything you've done online, he says without looking at you. We've seen it. Every system you touched. Every vulnerability you exploited. Every time you thought you were ahead of everyone else. You almost smile. Thought? You ask. He stops walking. Turns to you. You were. That's when you realize this isn't a threat. It's recruitment. Your workstation is underground. No internet. At least not the kind you know. 3 monitors. A keyboard that feels heavier than normal. No branding on anything. Even the chair feels intentional. Welcome to the program. Someone says behind you. You don't turn around. What program? A pause. The one that doesn't exist. The first assignment is simple. Too simple. A server in Eastern Europe. Financial records. Mid-level corruption. The kind of thing you've done before for fun, for curiosity, for ego. You'll extract everything, the handler says. Quietly. And then, we decide what happens next. You don't ask questions. You dive in. But the system isn't what it seems. Layers within layers. False endpoints. Decoy traffic. Someone built this to trap people like you. You don't trigger anything. You adapt. 30 minutes in, you're deeper than anyone else has ever gone. An hour in, you're inside. 2 hours in, you realize something uncomfortable. You're not the only one there. Another presence. Subtle. Watching. Moving just outside your reach. You chase it. It disappears. When you pull the data and exit, your hands are shaking. Not from fear, but from something worse. Excitement. You weren't alone, you tell them. They already know. Good. The handler says. Good? You repeat. We wanted to see if you'd notice. You lean back in your chair. And if I didn't? Then you wouldn't be here tomorrow. Days blur into nights. Time doesn't exist here. Only tasks. Only systems. Only targets. You stop thinking in hours. You start thinking in layers, in protocols, in vulnerabilities. The outside world fades. Friends stop messaging. Family becomes distant noise. You don't miss them. That's the first change. Weeks in, the assignments shift. Less data extraction. More influence. You're not just breaking into systems anymore. You're altering them. A financial record here. A voting database there. A security clearance quietly revoked. Small changes, they say. Strategic adjustments. You know what it really is. Control. How far does this go? You ask one night. No answer. So you push. You access internal logs you're not supposed to see. encrypted directories, hidden partitions. You break through one, then another, then you find it. A list, names, thousands of them, politicians, CEOs, journalists, military officials. Each name has a status. Green, yellow, red. You scroll. Some names change as you watch. Green to yellow, yellow to red. You don't know what it means, but you feel it. This isn't surveillance. This is selection. The next assignment comes faster than usual. Target is marked red. Your handler says. You don't ask what that means. You already know. Access their communications. Full spectrum. No trace. You nod. You begin. The system is secure. Personal. Private. You break it anyway. Emails. Messages. Calls. Photos. You see everything. Too much. You find nothing illegal. Nothing dangerous. Just a life. A normal, flawed human life. You hesitate. That's new. The voice comes through your headset. Continue. You swallow. And after, silence. Then, not your concern. You sit there, staring at the screen. For the first time since you got here, you don't feel in control. You feel used. You finish the job. Of course you do. You always finish the job. But something shifts. A line you didn't know existed, now you've crossed it. Sleep becomes harder. Not because you can't. Because you don't want to. Every time you close your eyes, you see the list. Green, yellow, red. You start wondering where your name would be, if it's there at all. Months pass. You're faster now. Cleaner. More efficient. They trust you. Or at least they rely on you. There's a difference. You're the only one who does what you do. The only one who sees what you see. The only one who could expose everything. You realize that. They realize that you realize. Security tightens. Not around the system. Around you. More cameras. More checks. Subtle restrictions. You're not a recruit anymore. You're an asset. And assets don't leave. One night, the system glitches. Just for a second. A flicker. Like the one that started all of this. Your screen goes black. Then, a message. You're not the only one inside. Your breath catches. It's back. That presence from your first assignment. Found you. Or maybe it never left. They're using you. The message continues. You type before you think. Who are you? A pause. Then, someone who tried to leave. Your chest tightens. And the response is instant. I didn't. The connection drops. Everything returns to normal. But nothing feels normal anymore. You start digging again. Carefully. Quietly. You hide your tracks even from yourself. You find fragments. Logs that shouldn't exist. Access points that lead nowhere. Records of operations you never performed, but are logged under your ID. That's when it hits you. You're not just inside the system. You are the system. Or at least the part of it that can be replaced. Your performance has been exceptional, the handler says the next day. You don't respond. We're expanding your access. That's not a reward. That's a test. Or a trap. You nod anyway. The new access is everything. Full network visibility. Global systems. Military. Financial. Infrastructure. You could shut down cities. Crash economies. Erase identities. All from your chair. All with a few keystrokes. Power like this shouldn't exist. But it does. And it's sitting in your hands. The message returns that night. Now you see it. You don't hesitate. What do you want? Choice. You laugh quietly. There's no choice here. A pause. Then, there is. But it costs everything. You lean back, staring at the ceiling. For the first time, you think about leaving. Not just physically. Completely. Burning the system. Exposing everything. Ending it. You could do it. You know you could. But then what? You'd be hunted. Erased. Turned into another red name on a list you helped build. Why me? You type. The answer comes slowly. Because you're the only one who can. You look at your hands. They're steady. They always are. But now they feel different. Heavier. like they're holding something invisible, something irreversible. Morning comes without light. Your handler is waiting. We have a priority operation. Of course you do. There's been a breach, he continues. Your stomach tightens. Internal. You say nothing. We need you to find them. A pause. Before they find you. You sit down at your workstation. The screens light up. The system hums. Everything is exactly as it should be. Except now you know what it is. What it does. What it makes you. You start tracing the breach. Following the digital footprints. It's clean. Too clean. Like someone who knows exactly how you think. Exactly how you move. You follow it deeper. Layer by layer. Protocol by protocol. Until you find it. A signal. Hidden. Waiting. A message appears. Not on your screen. In your system. You found me. You don't respond. Your fingers hover over the keyboard. The system is watching. They're always watching. Your handler's voice cuts in. Status. You take a breath. Everything comes down to this. You can expose them. Or protect them. You can follow orders. Or break the system. You can stay. Or try to leave. Almost there, you say. Your voice doesn't shake. It never does. The cursor blinks. Waiting. One command. That's all it takes. One decision. And whatever you choose, you know one thing for certain. The system isn't designed to let people like you walk away. It's designed to make sure you never want to.